You are listening to the Academic Wellbeing Series, brought to you by Academdum. This series is designed to help you understand how to apply your faith to your academics. If you've ever felt overwhelmed, disconnected, or simply in need of direction, you're in the right place. Let's dive in.
So there was this particular day I wanted to work on my laptop, right? I was going to submit some design files that I've been working on, and it was late in the night. So it was late in the night. I was working on the chair in the living room in our house, and suddenly they just took the light. Right? They just took the light, and I was like, okay. And then they restored the lights. Like, okay, fine, that's cool. So I got up. I wanted to go and get my laptop from my room, right? So on getting to my room, as I stepped into my room, they took the light again. Like, there was no light again. And I was like, because I entered the room, so I just wanted to pick up my laptop and return and to continue working. But lights went off. And in the midst of the room, like in the room that was obviously dark, I don't know, I just felt like, I'm already at the room, so I can find the laptop. So I was trying to trying to feel, not want to hold this, like, trying to feel your way around for it. And the laptop, I knew it was in the bed, so I found my way to the bed. It's my room, right? So I was trying to feel, use my hands, where's the laptop? And that happened for a while. Eventually, I was getting frustrated. I was really getting frustrated, so I stepped out. I left the room, and I just remember that my phone was with me. So I took my phone, and I turned on the flashlight of my phone. Immediately, I turned on the flashlight of my phone, and I went back to the bed. The laptop was right there in front of me, and then I was wondering and asking myself, how? So this guy was right in front of me. How come I was feeling and checking every other place but this place right in front of me? It wasn't even far off. Oh my goodness. I should have found the laptop. I took it. I went to do the work, and I submitted it on time. But the interesting thing here is the fact that if I did not decide to turn on lights, well, I may have eventually the laptop on the bed, but it would have taken me so much more time, and I'll probably have been frustrated because it should be on the bed. It should be right there. Why am I not finding it? Why am I not feeling it? But the game changer there was what? Light. And we want to, that experience I had, it revealed something really, really powerful and interesting to me, because everything changes once there's light. Even physically. Since light, that you can begin to work, you can begin to do stuff, you can begin to make things happen. But without lights, everything is almost practically incapacitated. So when there's no light, the very first thing the person tries to find he's not trying to make things work, he's trying to find light. Once he gets light, then he can start making things work. So we want to talk about that. I want to go deeper into it, right? To really talk about this lights thing and how this is connected and how this is related to academics, how to bring this and relate it to the academic context. Alright, let's get into it. Let there be light. Let there be light. And if we're going to be looking at it, we're going to start from the very beginning, literally, to understand the origin, the concept of light. So let's turn our Bibles to Genesis chapter 1. Genesis chapter 1. verse 2. Yeah, in the beginning, God created the heaven and the earth. Yes, that's one. Yeah. So, we're going to take a look at Genesis chapter 1, verse 2 and verse 3. And this time around, we're reading it in the King James Version. In the King James Version. Alright. So, 1, let's go. And the earth was without form and void, and darkness was upon the face of the deep, and the Spirit of God moved upon the face of the waters. Now, verse 3, and God said, let there be light. And there was light. Full stop. And God said, let there be light. And there was what? Light. Now, you would see that in the very beginning. Now, this is talking about how. Okay, I think, you know what? Let's read this in the Message translation, the Message Bible translation. And then you see, so we can paint a picture, right? So this time around, we're reading from Genesis chapter 1, verse 1, read verse 2, and then read verse 3, okay? Now, this is in the Message Bible translation. Let's look at this. First, this. God created the heavens and the earth. All you see, all you don't see. Now, earth was a soup of nothingness, a bottomless emptiness, an inky blackness. That's darkness right there. Darkness, nothingness, void, right? God's spirit brooded like a bird over the watery abyss. The abyss is dark. Now, verse 3, God spoke, light appeared. So you see that even in the creation of the world, the very first thing that was created, the very first thing God introduced as He began creation was what? Light. Now, you would see first, the world, like, there was a lack of shape, a lack of form. Everything was just dark and black, right? Picture, you see how now we look at how beautiful and colorful every day is, from the sun to the skies to the flowers to the trees, the grounds, everything. There's so much color, so much life, so much beauty in the earth. But there was a point when God created everything where this thing was just pitch black, darkness. God did was introduce light first. Now, the same way God did that, there are times in a man's life, there are seasons and periods in life where everything just feels off. Everything looks confusing. Nothing is working, nothing seems to make sense, nothing is moving forward supposedly. And it's just like, what's going on? The first thing, just like God, the first thing to bring on board, the first thing you should think of, the first thing you should look for is to get light into that situation. Light. Now, I hope you know, and I want you to know that this light we're talking about is we're not talking of physical light here. We're not talking of a torchlight or your lamp, that you are the lamp your situation. That's not it. This light we're talking about is a force. It's not even the sun. It wasn't a physical light, because you see how that when God started creation, He already created this light. He called forth out of the darkness. The light came forth out of darkness, right? And until you go further, and then you see that it was later on that the sun, the moon, the stars were created. All right? You'd see in verse 14, I think that was day 4. day four of the creation journey, the creation project, was where God now created the physical lights that we know, the sun, the moon. That was day 4, right? So these lights we're referring to here, the lights that God called forth at the very in verse 3 is not the sun, because later on created the sun, but he could not start doing anything until light was in place, until light was present. So light itself is a force. It is real. It's a force. And for work to be done, for anything to be established, for anything to be done, light is required. Light is required. Actual work to be done, light is required. Now, what exactly is this light? Let's take a look at this light. Like, what exactly is this light? According to God's perspective, in God's idea, God's mind, what exactly is this light? Okay, now let's take a look at it. Let's take a look at John chapter 1. John chapter 1. I'm going to be reading in the King James Version. John chapter 1, verse 1 to 4. John chapter 1, verse 1 to 4. All right, so let's get into it. John chapter 1, verse 1 to 4, King James Version. In the beginning was the Word, and the Word was with God. The Word was God. The same was in the beginning with God. All things were made by Him. Without Him was not anything made that was made. Verse 4. In Him was life, and the life was the light of men. In Him was life, and the life was the light of men. In Him was life, and the life was the light of men. Now, let's skip your verse. Let's go to verse 6. Alright, so read verse 6, we read verse 7, we read verse 8. I want us to speak a bit more on that light before we begin to now expound and go deep. So verse 6 says, there was a man sent from God, whose name was what? John. Now, this John now came for a witness. John came to bear witness of the light. John came to bear witness of the fact. John was not that light. Verse 8, he was not that light, but was sent to bear witness of that light. So now, exactly was that light? What exactly is that light? You would see now that we understand that the Word was with God. The Word itself was God. The Word was in the beginning with God. Everything that was made, everything that was created by the Word. By the Word. Nothing was created without the agency of the Word. And it is inside this Word that life exists. You would see how God would speak, light be, right? He would speak, let the trees come out. Speaking words, that's the word being put to work. Let trees come out. Even when He created man, right? And let's come back. The life that is being referred to in John chapter 1 verse 4, that life is found, can be found in the Word. And it is inside that life itself. Inside that life itself, it is out of that life that you have the light that we're referring to. Stay with me. This light that we're talking about, it's in the Word. It's in the Word. It's in the Word. It's in the Word. It's in the person of the Word, Jesus. The person of the Word, Jesus. The person of the Word, Jesus. The same person that John the Baptist testified of, the same person that John the Baptist was a witness, was bearing witness to that light, is none other than the Word, the person of Jesus himself. Okay? So now, how exactly does this translate into academics? How do we translate this understanding, this reality, this truth? Let's bring it into the practical sense. Let's bring it into application, right, in academics. We said that this light is a force, right? A force. Now, the question will now be, how exactly is this light the light of all men? Now, every man, even from the very beginning, when God created man, He formed man, He released His breath into man. Man's existence, man's purpose, man's life is a function of the words that God spoke to him. So man's very life and existence and essence came from the release of words, came from the breath of the Almighty, which we've spoken about, talking about intelligence, right? And by words, because God spoke to man, this, and this. This is what defines your life's purpose. Tend the garden, keep it. But when man fell, there was a disconnect. And Jesus, the person of the Word himself now personified, came to dwell amongst men. That life in which the light is captured, that life is in the person of Jesus. So if you have received the life of Christ, you've given your life to Christ, you've received the life of Christ, you are already a partaker of that life. You're already a partaker of that life. You're already a partaker of that life. You're already a partaker of that life. And that light is already within you. Now, if you've not yet received Christ, if you've not yet received and partaking of that life of Christ, all right, you can just comment down below, because this will be out on YouTube as well. You could just leave a comment down below, or would attach a link, would comment and would attach a link in the comment section that you can make use of. Just submit your details. Okay, I'm ready to receive the life of Christ. I want to come to that light, and would reach out to you and follow up from there. I will guide you to receive that very life, that's coming into that light. All right.
Amazing! You listened till the end. Now tell me, what was your aha moment while you listened? Share it in the comment section and let others learn from your experience. Also, share today's episode with someone and stay connected with us for more faith-filled guidance on school, life, and purpose.